Hello and welcome to the top story segment here on NDTV's YouTube channel. Every morning on Good Morning India, I give you 5 stories to vote upon, and the ones that attract most attention from you is what you and I discuss here on our YouTube channel. Well, for the past several weeks now, the only story that's captured the minds of everyone has been the Citizenship Act, and now the fallout of that, which is protests that are being carried out, and also how different people in the society have been responding in different ways. There is a non-violent protest going on here in the national capital, a relay protest of sorts. I'll tell you about that as we go ahead with this video. We'll also talk about this non-cooperation protest of sorts that's emerged. But first up, something that's happening in BHU. That's something all of you have voted about. Let's see and have a look at the poll this morning. 51 BHU professors protest about a citizenship law. 65% of you have asked about it. Now, what is this all about? Now, remember, details of all of that available online as well. Now, NDTV has learned and has got this letter, which is signed by at least 51 professors in BHU and some other faculty in and around Banaras as well, where they are saying that what is happening in the fallout as a fallout of the Citizenship Amendment Act is not on. They want and they demand an immediate rollback of this bill. And also the second important demand that they've put down in front of people has been that all those students who had been arrested in the violence and the protests that took place between Friday to Sunday in Banaras, they be released as well. Now, to understand the story, let's dig in a bit about what exactly happened at BHU. Let me come. So this is the letter. I'll come to it in just a bit. We also have an interview with the professor, one of the professors who signed it, coming up for you in this video. But first up, to understand what exactly happened. Now, if we go in, you'll see this is what the protest in BHU looked like. People came out. This was supposed to be the convocation ceremony. But in middle of that convocation ceremony, people came out and said that, well, those arrested students should be let go of. Kids also, we know at least of this one academic topper who went and said that he will not be accepting his medal because of the arrests that have been taken place by UP police in this regard. Now, they go on to talk about how, because of those protests there, the police in Varanasi got hold of at least about 50 to 60 kids, 12 of whom, as we speak, are still under arrest with charges as serious as rioting. Now, if you look at this, it talks about the police at Varanasi have charged the students under serious sections of the law like rioting. They say no one was arrested from inside the university campus, and they cannot say independently if those arrested are BHU students since they made no arrest from inside the campus. Now, what does this essentially mean? This is the version of the UP police. UP police is saying, well, we arrested some people, but since of late we've seen the response that has been generated because of arrest of students. Look at Jamia, look at AMU, look at BHU, look at IIT Madras, for instance. So the police is not coming on record to say whether they were students or no, but saying we just got hold of some people. Indeed, the fact is that they are students, 12 of them missing with pictures and their names now flashing all over amongst the student groups. We've got that for you as well. But during those protests where these arrests were made, there was police lathi charge, there was heavy-handedness by the police, or that so is the claim at the moment. And also the excesses that we've seen, which has pretty much been the trend of sorts, coming in as a response from police from across the country, not just UP, not just Delhi as well. Now there, even an 8-year-old boy lost his life. That's how serious those protests were. Now, almost a few days beyond that, now the fact that there are kids and there are students who are still under arrest has revoked a sharp response from the faculty members, even from the students. They have these names flashed over. If you come a little closer, you'll see that at the BHU campus, you see all these students standing here. They're actually holding the names and the faces of these students, saying release them. 69 people were arrested that day, and all this was happening during the convocation ceremony. So this has evoked a sharp response, and what you see now is the second fold of that protest, where it's not just students anymore, it's the faculty members joining in. So what we did was to understand in greater detail what is it that they are demanding. I spoke to one of the professors who had signed this letter. We called him up during the show and to understand why exactly has it come to a point that they're saying that they're really angry and they want the government to look into why all these students have been under arrest. Let me just play out that interview for you. You just have to simply understand the voice of this professor to tell you what exactly is brewing inside the campus. Listen in.
Good morning to you, sir, and thank you so much for speaking with us, Professor. I firstly want to start by saying that this letter that we see on our screens right now, how many professors have actually signed in? Are you expecting more participation? And what are your key demands?
एक्चुअल में यहाँ पर जितने भी BHU के प्रोफेसर हैं उसमें मोस्टली उसको सपोर्ट करते हैं, बट अभी विंटर वेकेशन स्टार्ट हो गया है और कन्वोकेशन में अभी बिजी थे तो ज्यादा लोगों के साइन नहीं हो पाए हैं, लेकिन मोस्टली प्रोफेसर 2/3 प्रोफेसर उसके सपोर्ट में है BHU से।
और आपकी की डिमांड्स क्या है सर इस लेटर में?
एक तो ये है कि सरकार किसी भी हालत में इस पे कानून पर पुनर्विचार करे, और दूसरी बात हम चाहते हैं जितने भी प्रोटेस्ट हुए हैं शांतिपूर्ण ढंग से, जिनके खिलाफ कार्रवाइयाँ हुई है, पुलिस ने बर्बरता की है, उनको तुरंत रिहा किया जाना चाहिए और सरकार इसको हर हाल में वापस ले।
और प्रोफेसर साहब हमें बता सकते हैं कि हमने BHU में काफी एक्टिव रेजिस्टेंस देखा है CA और NRC के अगेंस्ट। हमने पहले देखा कुछ बच्चों ने अपने मेडल्स भी वापस करे, कहा हम नहीं लेंगे जब तक ये एक्ट वापस नहीं होता है। लेकिन अभी जैसे क्या ये आने वाले दिनों में आप इसका फ्यूचर क्या देख रहे हैं ऐसे प्रोटेस्ट का?
मैं समझ रहा हूँ कि ये किसी एक स्टूडेंट्स या फिर किसी भी एक कम्युनिटी विशेष के लिए नहीं, बल्कि ये पूरे देश के लिए बहुत विघटनकारी कानून है और ये लोगों को आपस में बांटने वाला है। और मैं समझता हूँ ये देश के संविधान की मूल भावना के खिलाफ है और इसको जनता कभी भी बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट को इसके लिए माफ नहीं करेगी। और ये जो अभी तक इस तरह का मुझे लग रहा है कि ये अंग्रेजों के जमाने में हमने सुना था कि इस तरह के काले कानून सरकार पास करती थी, उस तरह के काले कानूनों की एक पूरी सीरीज बना रही है भारतीय जनता पार्टी। इसके लिए मैं समझ रहा हूँ खास करके जो यूनिवर्सिटी कैंपस में, कॉलेजेस में और इंटेलेक्चुअल्स के बीच में, प्रोफेसर्स के बीच में जो अवेयरनेस आई है उसका पनिशमेंट बीजेपी को जरूर भुगतना पड़ेगा।
So you heard the professor over there talking about what he believes is a Kala Kanun, and he says that the series of laws that are being passed by the BJP government is a grim reminder of what used to happen in the earlier times. He's also talking about the culture of UP, which is to actually coexist and to co-create, and that he believes is being destroyed as well. Importantly, he's also saying that so far only 51 have signed this letter because the college was shut for winter vacation and because they think that kids and even professors, others have been busy with the convocation ceremony. He's expecting this number to only rise as that happens. I also try to understand from him how exactly is all this panning out in the constituency of the Prime Minister. UP, which has a BJP government, and the constituency of the Prime Minister, Varanasi, which has voted him back into power with such a thumping majority. In a place like that, this voice of dissent which is growing, what exactly does that mean? Listen in.
सर, पर आप BHU है, वाराणसी है, यूपी है, यहाँ पर तो बीजेपी का गढ़ बोला जाता है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर की कंस्टिट्यूएंसी है। क्या यहाँ पर भी उनके खिलाफ काफी रेजिस्टेंस देखा जा रहा है?
असल में हम समझ रहे हैं कि मीडिया का जो होता है, तो जो ग्रुप है, ग्रुप 18 और जिसको हम लोग कह सकते हैं कि ये इनके अपने पॉकेट में जो मीडिया है वो उनको यूपी में या देश में उसका गढ़ बताता है। पर ऐसा नहीं, हमारे देश में हजारों साल की, खास करके यूपी में भी जो गंगा यमुनी तहजीब बोला जाता है, जो सभी धर्म की और लिंग के लोगों के साथ किसी भी तरह से भेदभाव नहीं करता, और हजारों साल की जो हमारे यहाँ की सांस्कृतिक विरासत है, भाईचारे की, सद्भावना की, उन लोग उसको पसंद करते हैं। इनकी नफरत की राजनीति को कभी पसंद नहीं करते हैं। जो लोग गलती से बीजेपी को या ये कहें कि बहुत समझ सोच करके भी बीजेपी को उम्मीदों से वोट किया तरह के कानूनों से इत्तेफाक मिल जाते हैं.
All right, so that is what the professor had to say about the Ganga Jamuna Tehzeeb of Uttar Pradesh, and talking about why this will not be tolerated in Uttar Pradesh. So that's pretty much been the campaign. On the other things, the two other protests that I talked about during the beginning of the video, about the two different unique ways in which the protests are happening. Let's begin with the one which is happening here in the capital. So remember Shaheen Bagh, one of the areas where violent protest was seen on day one, on last Sunday actually, when the violence first broke out in the Jamia region. And there, women, thousands of them, housewives, homemakers, have decided to sit in on a relay protest of sorts. What does that mean? They have blocked the entire road from Kalindi Kunj, which is basically one of the roads that connects Delhi to Noida. They're sitting in there all day, all night, but in batches. They say this will continue to happen till the time a complete rollback of CAA does not take place. These are women who have to send their kids to school, have to attend to the household chores, have to do other duties. So they do this in batches. So there is a shift in the morning, a shift in the afternoon, a shift at night, where one set of women go, they finish up the work, they come back and sit. Then the other batch goes. So this very unique, peaceful protest, all done by women in Shaheen Bagh, has now become quite a talk of the town. In fact, they've been sitting on this from December 15th. We're talking on the 26th now. It's already been going on. And at this time when temperatures in Delhi are really, really terrible, by that I mean it's been really, really cold. And through the night to sit there, some with even little toddlers and kids in hand, has been quite a striking picture coming in from the national capital. Apart from that, the other protest that I talked about was the one that is emerging in other parts of the country, like the one that was carried out in, say, UP. There are others which were talked about in IT Madras. Now, this IT Madras also has a very interesting story. There was one exchange student there, a German boy who was studying in his physics, if I'm not wrong. He was studying physics in IT Madras. And he was spotted at the protest holding big banners in hand. One even said that official criminals in uniform are also criminals, something to that effect. And there were other protest posters, very striking pictures and banners that he held up. He is now saying that he got an oral order of sorts to leave the country and go back. He also was reportedly told that because he participated in a protest, it was against his visa guidelines and his visa permissions, and now he has been sent back. Sent back from India, back to Germany where he came from, because all he did was come out and democratically protest. Now he has now reached Germany. He went via Amsterdam, and there he wrote a very striking Facebook post. And in that post, he describes what happens, and he also says that they might have sent me back, but I can say this, that I will continue to raise my voice in whatever manner I can. He also sympathizes with those who have managed to speak up against what he says is a cause for the freedom of speech, for the idea of India. So different ways in which protests are really happening in the country, and if they continue to happen as we speak, as we get towards the end of 2019, this is one issue that you can expect to go on even further. For the moment, that's all we have for you for today. And all you have to do is stay tuned to NDTV 24/7, our channel, our .com, ndtv.com, our website, and also now on YouTube to catch all the latest. Thanks for watching.